Hi, this is Smita Kumar, and you're watching Medicircle. Today, in our Doctor Speak section, we are going to speak to Dr. Abhijit Bhograj. Dr. Abhijit Bhograj is an endocrinologist, a medical social worker, and the co founder of Seven Sugar. He is on the mission to maximize the potential of low tech, low data AI, low resource settings to improve treatment outcomes and save lives. Welcome, Dr. Abhijit. Welcome to Medicircle.
Hi, thank you so much for having me over.
It's a privilege, Dr. Abhijit. So tell us more about Seven Sugar. The name is quite interesting. So tell us more about it.
So that's the first important question. Anyone who hears this name asks me what it is. Well, the whole aspect of the name came about when because we were the main idea and concept was revolved around diabetes, and so the gold standard of doing to say that somebody is in good sugar control or glycemic control, we do one 3-month average test called the HbA1c, and in that test the 7 is the cutoff mark to say that yes, you got good glycemic control.
Yes.
And sugar is a common term that we always use when it comes to diabetes. So I said, let's keep. So we decided amongst our co-founders that we'll keep this as a something that is colloquial as well as something technical over there. And quite a lot of people, when you look at numerology, 7 is a lucky number. So,
Yes, we have seven seas, seven continents, seven seasons.
and when there's also the very famous book about the 7 habits. So in the end of the day, what we are trying to achieve is kind of like put into this into the name of the our product. So that's what the how the origins of 7 Sugar came about.
So quite interesting. I mean, Seven Sugar is really an interesting name, and anybody who would be, I mean, watching this interview would be definitely inquisitive to find out more about Seven Sugar.
Yes.
So, Dr. Abhijit, COVID has brought a digital revolution. It has brought a digital revolution in the healthcare industry. Like we see innovative startups coming up with the healthcare. There has been a lot of disruption in the health tech market. So, do you feel like telemedicine is ready for the masses?
I would say it has pushed a concept that had already been in existence for the past 10 years.
Yes.
Now, like when you look at how demonetization, like, pushed digital payments
True.
into like, into warp speed. Now, the concept of telemedicine has come into people's understanding. It
Yes.
is definitely, it was always there before, but now it has become mainstream. The important aspect is now patients are willing to consult online, and where it helps and makes a difference, because quite a lot of people who were not able to access specialists in their area, now it brings them to the forefront. But when you look at common practice, again, it should not be misused. I mean, if somebody says, look, I don't want to go to a doctor, always a physical consultation can never replace telemedicine. So we should not you should only use it as a follow up, and not use it like continuously. Even the rules also don't make us after 6 months you definitely need to go back to the doctor. So it was definitely going to help us, but we should use it wisely, and not misuse it. And that is where I feel it is definitely going to make a world of a difference, because we are able to help a lot more people. And now the other important aspect, because we are doing everything online now, the paper practice like your prescription, things like that, all that has now we have been forced to digitize every single aspect of the practice. And so when it comes to patient management, when it comes to prescriptions, when it comes to the data that we get about the patient, all of this is now moving online because of this because of the change in what we were seeing because of the pandemic. So these are the two big changes that we are seeing thanks to the pandemic, and definitely it will help us deliver better care to our patients. But it is a word of caution. We have to use it wisely and not misuse it.
Definitely. Dr. Abhijit, diabetes being a lifestyle disorder, it has captured many lives, and we see an upward graph of the younger generation, especially being diagnosed by this killer disease. So, how do you think 7 sugar will help battle this problem?
So, as you rightly said, it's a huge problem that we are facing in India right now. If you look at the numbers, recent surveys, whatever they have found out, we are looking at 72 million Indian diabetics. And the other important hidden fact in this is there's another 70 million who absolutely have no idea that they have this lifestyle disease. And when we say that diabetes is a silent killer, this is exactly because it only when things get very come to a stage where things get really bad, that is when they realize that there's something wrong happening in their body. And so it is a big challenge. And how many when you talk of specialist doctors looking to just treat diabetes, you'll probably have in total of India, endocrinologists, you'll have around 700 endocrinologists, and in physicians or diabetologists who are there, you will have another 10,000. So how do you kind of deal with such a large number? The next challenge that we are seeing, because you have such a small workforce dealing with such large population, to deliver the correct care is going to become the huge challenge. So that is where we need to take the help of technology, and to deliver the right kind of care in the end of it is what we are trying to work towards. And because not one person can solve this problem, so
Yes.
you need an army of people. But again, it becomes impossible for us to generate that much of specialists to deal with such a problem that we are dealing with. And the interesting thing about diabetes is you may suffer with diabetes. The whole family, in the end of it, if the person is not doing well, the whole family in the end also gets affected. And the costs that the person incurs because they have diabetes complications is a huge burden, and India cannot afford to have such an exploding burden when it comes to these problems when it comes to diabetes.
True. So, Dr. Abhijit, as you are dealing with such a big scale disease, which is also like a silent killer, and it has affected so many lives. So, being an endocrinologist and director at Sensi Healthcare, and also a co-founder now at Seven Sugar. So, how has your journey been?
So the company is now around 2 years old.
Mhm.
Uh, so our journey, me and my fellow co-founders, Mr. Adi Kesarla and Mr. Satish. So we all started off with the concept of what we wanted to do. Each one of us, as a doctor, I do not know how to code, and as a doctor. Business is something that doesn't come naturally to us. So definitely, when you're starting your entrepreneurial journey, you need to take help of experts, and all of us came. So I bring in the domain expertise when it comes to what the product is and what the product should do in the end of the day. So the main concept, as you rightly said, this is a lifestyle disease, and a lot of young people are getting affected by this. What we are seeing, what the main aspect of the problem is, when a person has diabetes, their doctor has probably 3 to 5 minutes to spend with them to take a very very detailed aspect about their lifestyle and their medication and what they're eating, how they're behaving, so what the problems are. So it's a large amount of information that you need to collect in that 3 minutes. It is impossible to do it. So in 3 minutes you cannot. So what we rely on are reports, and with an educated guess, you're making an assumption that this is what is happening in that person's body, and then based on that you are giving a treatment. 50 to 60% of the population are not in control because our assumptions are wrong as doctors. So
Yes.
now how do we solve this problem? So what we decided was, uh, there is everyone has cell phones, and quite a lot of people are they know how to take photographs, and we combine the physical activity, we combine the lifestyle, and we integrate this information with certain sensors that are now available in the market. So
Okay.
these sensors are stuck behind the arm. They check the blood glucose continuously.
Okay.
So if along with that, we are also using connected glucometers which give you information about your blood sugars. So correlating everything put together, we do some analysis, and then we come to know exact problem areas in a person's profile or in a person's day. And also because they have an application which is monitoring them between visits, we are using the help of AI to again collect information to see what is going on in between. And when the person comes back for a visit, everything is concise, put in a very personalized report, and the doctor is able to do, like as I said, in that 3 minutes we are able to quickly make an analysis of what is going on. We are analyzing the diet, we are analyzing their glucose profile, we're seeing the labs. All of it is done. Pre-analysis is already done. A focus problem areas are highlighted, and then we treat based on that. So that is what our platform does. And this journey has been amazing because every single person who has undergone this program, uh, there is a story to tell. Like, for example, the other day, there was a mother. So this was she 47 years old. So this lady, uh, through IVF became pregnant, and so she has gestational diabetes. So that is diabetes in pregnancy. So with other health complications, it became very difficult. And then in the pandemic scenario, there is no way for us to meet or to consult. So everything happened on the platform. We were able to collect information. We were able to do the readings from the sensor. Then after the sensor got over, she did her tests at home. Through the platform, we were able to titrate. We were looking at photographs of the food. All of this was happening remotely. And the biggest challenge when you have complications in diabetes, and it's a precious pregnancy at 47 years old, it is definitely a precious pregnancy. So we were able to keep the sugars in range. We were able to be in touch and help this person out in just remotely, completely done
That's great.
remotely. And so the outcomes also were very successful. So all of this was only possible because we had the technology to do that.
So, what are the possibilities of passing this disease to the unborn child? I mean, like in
So there
generation.
is a risk, but the biggest risk is when the sugars are high, the child is exposed to high sugars. There are complications that happen in that. So there'll be risk of miscarriage. The main risk of diabetes is not there immediately for the child, but because sugars being high, they get other complications. The size of the baby increases, the changes in the amniotic fluid. So all these variations happen, and the risk of losing the child is very high. So you have to keep the sugars in a very tight and controlled range. And to do that remotely, to first you need the information. And
True.
then if you're not getting the information and you're not understanding what is going on, definitely you're completely lost and you'll be giving the wrong treatment.
Yes, thanks to
We're
technology,
able to do that.
gave you the right information at
Yeah.
the right time and saved not just one but two lives.
Yeah, so that's it. And so I was just telling the team, see, just by we were looking for inspiration. And when the chips are down, you're looking at a pandemic and whatever. I mean, you're saying this is what you people have built. The tech team, I was telling them, look, this is what you have built, this is what you have delivered. And that is the power of being an engineer. I may be a doctor, I may directly deliver, but as from the back end, this is what you've done. Then the diet team, then there's so many people. It is not just one person, and all these people are able to come together because of the help of technology and put together to just bring that life into this world. So that is the magic of what we are looking at, and definitely it is going to be a challenge more for the future, because now people are learning that yes, this there will be challenges for any startup. So, but these challenges are welcome, and if there are no such challenges, I don't think innovation is going to like just get stuck in one place. So this is what we are learning and seeing, madam.
So I think it is innovation at the best because you doctors are doing such great job, and along with that, you are getting a good backend support from the techies. So that we are facing challenges, but at the same time, we are trying to overcome them.
Correct. Yes.
So thank you so much, Dr. Abhijit, for joining us for this Doctors Speak section on Medicircle. Through this media portal of ours, we try to speak to doctors and try to know the problems what the people are having and how to solve them. Because I think, and you being a doctor now turned into an entrepreneur, I think you would be always having your human touch. And yes, and definitely the techies and other things would be supporting you. So I think all the best and to your entrepreneurial journey. And I really wish that you keep on having success stories from Seven Sugar, and each patient you deal with comes out from happy from your institution, and gives a true example of how technology can solve problems, along with, and the technology is assisting the doctor, not at all trying to replace. And that's, I think, the biggest fear of a lot of doctors. So I think technology is just assisting docs like you to solve the problems.
Thank you, Smita. Thank you for this opportunity.
Yeah, thanks.